Welcome my dear listeners. Stay with me to get the news first and subscribe to the channel. Let's find out what's going to happen on royal family. Because of royal duty, King Charles won't be able to be there for Princess Charlotte's special day. On May 2, Princess Charlotte will be 11 years old. The king will still be on a high-profile trip abroad at the time. King Charles' royal duties and personal anniversaries sometimes happen at the same time, and this is true for him this April. People often say nice things about him as a hands-on grandfather, but sadly, he won't be there for Princess Charlotte's birthday this year. On Saturday, May 2, the Prince and Princess of Wales' only daughter will turn 11. It has just been announced that King Charles' next state visit will end on this date. Donald Trump, the President of the United States, said on social media that the King and Queen would be there from April 27 to 30. We also knew that the King would spend a few days in Bermuda after visiting the United States. The royal family's Instagram account has now officially posted these exact dates for the trip. We can't say for sure if Princess Charlotte's 11th birthday plans would have included celebrating with her grandparents. The Waleses are all about special family times, though, and still a little sad that King Charles can't be there with her. It might also be hard to fit in a longer birthday video call or phone call with Charlotte on the day, depending on what else is going on and what time His Majesty has to get on his plane home. He will do his best though, and since he is in charge, things like this will always happen. King Charles' coronation was on the 4th birthday of his grandson Prince Archie. The state visit will also be on the 15th anniversary of Prince William and Kate's wedding. Charles and Camilla's own 20th wedding anniversary fell on a state visit to Italy. The king has to answer when duty calls, and his family will know and understand this. Charles loves his grandchildren very much. Over Easter, we saw him playfully pat Prince Louis on the cheek or shoulder. It's hard to tell from the pictures. Former BBC royal correspondent Jenny Bond has said in the past that she thinks His Majesty's close relationship with the Queen Mother has inspired him. When you have had a great experience in life, it's natural to want to do it again. For your children and grandchildren, she told OK. Charles and his grandmother, the Queen Mother, had a wonderful relationship. Jenny says that the king is quite a soapy old thing really, and that he hugely values the time he has available to spend with his grandkids. William and Kate will probably make Charlotte's birthday special this year, even though he won't be there. The royals usually celebrate their birthdays in private. The Princess of Wales is known for staying up until midnight making ridiculous amounts of cake mix and icing for her kids, but the kids in Wales also get a birthday post on social media that is shared with everyone. It usually has a new picture. Kate looked the picture of Princess Charlotte last year. It showed her sitting on a mountain in Cumbria with a backpack and a jacket with leaves on it. What the news really says about King Charles, William and Catherine. I'm abdicating. The headline sounds like it could cause a lot of trouble. King Charles makes a final speech and announces William and Catherine's coronation. But the verified news doesn't show an abdication or any official plans for a new coronation. The record does show that the king is still the king, is still doing his duties, and he's still getting treatment for cancer under medical supervision. The current story is less about a throne being given away and more about a rumor mill that is way ahead of the facts. The main reason the headline doesn't make sense is that Charles was already crowned in 2023. Reuters said that his coronation as Westminster Abbey on May 6, 2023 was the ceremony that made him king. That means that The basic timeline doesn't support any claim that he is now declaring William and Catherine's coronation. There is no credible report that says Charles has announced he is stepping down as King and Queen of Wales. William and Catherine are the Prince and Princess of Wales, not the King and Queen. The latest news about Charles' health paints a different picture than the talk of him stepping down. In March 2025, Buckingham Palace said that he had temporary side effects after his scheduled cancer treatment and had to stay in the hospital for a short time. The palace said the incident was just a precaution, and he went back to Clarence House the same day. Reuters said that his public appearances were put off, but the palace also said that the situation was under control and would not last long. What happened next is the most important thing. In April 2024, Reuters said that Charles was well enough to take on some public duties again after treatment. Buckingham Palace said that doctors were happy with how he was doing. That doesn't sound like a king or queen who is getting ready to give up the throne. It shows the profile of a king whose work schedule is being changed to fit around treatment while still respecting his medical privacy. The same pattern went on until the end of 2025. People say that Charles gave a frank update on his cancer in a recorded message for Channel 4's Stand Up to Cancer campaign. He said that his treatment would be cut back in 2026. Buckingham Palace then said it was deeply touched by the public's response and happy with how people reacted to his message. Once more, the reporting's direction is not abdication, but less treatment and careful recovery. There is also no official statement from the palace that Charles has made a final speech about leaving. The only speech-like health update I found that was confirmed was the cancer awareness message from December 2025. It was about early detection, treatment progress, and public health, not plans for succession. The speech was not a goodbye to the throne. It was framed as a personal update and a public health appeal. When Charles' health changes, it immediately becomes a story about the future. That's why rumors like this spread. According to Reuters, he was briefly hospitalized in March 2025 because of treatment side effects. Later reports said that his planned state visit to Italy was still on. That mix of a small health problem, ongoing state business, and an upcoming trip abroad makes it easy for people to guess what will happen next. Even when the news is much calmer, it's also important to remember that Charles has been able to do his official work while getting treatment. In 2024, Reuters said that he went back to doing public-facing work while still following his treatment plan. In 2025, the palace treated a temporary hospital stay as a precautionary break, not a major turning point. That fits with a king who is changing his schedule but not giving up his job. So what about William and Catherine? In the verified reports, they are still part of the same public royal structure that they have been a part of since Charles became king. Catherine is still the Princess of Wales, and William is still the heir apparent. Reuters' coverage of the 2023 coronation showed William taking the lead by promising loyalty to Charles. This is the opposite of what William and Catherine are about to do, which is to be crowned. The public record shows that the current order of succession is being reaffirmed, not suddenly changed. So the phrase William and Catherine's coronation is just a way to frame rumors. There would be big constitutional and ceremonial effects if Charles ever stepped down, but I couldn't find any reliable reports that he has said he would. There is also no reliable source that says that palace is setting aside a date for a new coronation. Charles' own coronation in 2023 is the only one that has really happened. Some readers may find the rumor believable, and it's easy to see why. Charles has had cancer since 2024, and the palace has had to change his schedule from time to time because of side effects from treatment. Those things are true. but a managed workload is not an announcement of abdication, and a temporary medical warning is not the same as a royal farewell speech. The bigger picture is also important. According to Reuters, Charles and Camilla had to put off a trip to the Vatican because Pope Francis needed to rest. However, their trip to Italy was still on. That detail is important because it shows that Charles is still acting as a king and has international duties. People usually don't talk about a king who is getting ready to step down in the same breath as someone who is making and changing travel plans for the state. So the real story isn't "I'm giving up." Charles is still in charge while getting treatment for cancer. The monarchy is changing his schedule to fit with medical advice, and the succession is still the same as it has been since 2023. Charles is on the throne, William is next in line, and Catherine is part of the senior royal team. Even though the news tries very hard to make it sound like otherwise, that is a stable constitutional picture. So, if someone asks if Charles has given his last speech, the answer is no. If someone is asking if William and Catherine had been officially named the next reigning couple in a coronation announcement, the answer is also no. The reports support the idea that the king is sick, but still doing his job, making public appearances and making decisions for the state. That is not the same thing as giving up. The rumor says that the end will be very dramatic. The report says to manage things carefully. People say the rumor is about a succession announcement. The news says that Charles became king in 2023 and is still king. And the rumor says that William and Catherine's coronation is being announced now. But the sources I found don't have any proof of this. The whole story is that gap between the headline and the proof. And somehow this is where the story turns quite emotional. Not dramatic, but deeply human. Because behind the royal schedules and state visits, there is a little girl turning 11 and a grandfather who simply can't be there. And that contrast, it says everything. Without saying a word, in my opinion, this is the part of royal life we don't talk about enough. The cost of duty, not in headlines but in missed moments that never come back. Because no matter how powerful the title is, it can pause time, it can reschedule a child's birthday, and it definitely can't replace being present. And yet, this is the life they have chosen. Or perhaps the life that chose them. But here is something to really think about. Will Princess Charlotte understand this as she grows older? Or will these small absences quietly shape how she sees the monarchy? What about King Charles? Does he ever look at these moments and wonder that what truly matters most, even if he never says it out loud? Because if you look ahead, this pattern may not change. In fact, it might become even more visible. As responsibilities grow, as roles become heavier, these personal sacrifices could become more frequent and more noticeable. And here is a thought that lingers: what happens when the next generation starts making different choices? Will they follow tradition or gently break away from it? Because William and Catherine already seem to be drawing a slightly different line. A quieter shift but a meaningful one, and that could be the real story unfolding right now. Not abdication, not headlines, but evolution. So now I'm curious, do you think royal duty should always come first, no matter the cost? Or is there a moment where family should take priority, even for a king? Stay with me, because sometimes the smallest moments reveal the biggest changes.